Eiji Kisaragi is a forgotten legacy character first debuting in Art of Fighting 2 before making his way into the King of Fighters 95 as part of the famous Rivals team. He is arguably the most ninja of all the ninjas in SNK's history, a shadowy, mysterious figure who, despite having only a handful of appearances, has built a loyal and passionate fanbase. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Eiji has always been one of the coolest designs in the series, with a serious, intimidating presence that screams untapped potential. But unfortunately, his treatment over the years hasn't done him justice. Instead of developing him further, SNK slowly shifted him into a comic relief role, which feels completely at odds with the character's design and motivations. Just listen to his Art of Fighting 2 theme. The intensity alone tells you this guy was never meant to be a joke. In this video, we'll dive into Eiji's backstory, his rivalries with some of SNK's most iconic characters, and how his possible connection to another ninja adds surprising depth and lore to both the Art of Fighting and Fatal Fury series. But before that, if you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Eiji belongs to the feared and respected Kisaragi clan, a lineage of ninjas with a long and storied history. It is heavily implied, though never fully confirmed, that he may be the descendant of Zantetsu, the legendary ninja from the Last Blade series. Zantetsu's ending in The Last Blade 2 even provides subtle hints pointing toward this connection, and if true, it would link the timelines together, making The Last Blade a distant prequel to both Art of Fighting and Fatal Fury. Despite the clan's strength and reputation, there was one obstacle they could never overcome: the Kyokugen Karate School, founded by Takuma Sakazaki and carried on by his children Ryo and Yuri. This unresolved defeat ignited a bitter rivalry and drove Eiji to dedicate himself to surpassing Kyokugen-ryu. Sworn to become the strongest under the heavens, it made it his life's mission to finally conquer the one style his clan had never bested. When the first King of Fighters tournament was announced, Eiji entered with one clear objective: to defeat Ryo Sakazaki and prove once and for all the superiority of the Kisaragi clan over the Kyokugen-ryu karate style. However, fate had other plans. Eiji was ultimately defeated by Ryo, a crushing and humiliating loss that he could never truly move past. From that moment on, Ryo became the target of his deepest resentment, the rival he swore he would one day surpass. Not long after that defeat, the Kisaragi clan was in the process of selecting its next leader, and Eiji was considered the prime candidate, but he wasn't without challengers. Among them was Jin Fuha, a massive and highly skilled warrior who had once been Eiji's student. Despite Jin's strength and ambition, the honor of succession fell to Eiji, solidifying him as the rightful heir to the clan's legacy. This rivalry came to a head in a duel where Eiji dealt Jin a devastating blow, carving a scar across his chest. The attack wasn't just physical, it symbolized Eiji's philosophy of dominance, perhaps a calculated move to eliminate a threat to his leadership. Bitter and disillusioned, Jin abandoned the clan, harboring deep grudge against both the decision and Eiji himself. Seeking to validate his own strength, Jin turned to Eiji's sworn enemy, Ryo Sakazaki, confronting him in Art of Fighting 3. Though he emerged victorious, Jin felt hollow in his triumph, frustrated by the belief that Ryo hadn't given the fight his all. With his pride unsatisfied, Jin vowed that one day he would face Eiji directly, not just for revenge, but to finally prove his strength against the man who scarred him in more ways than one. But first, how about having some fun in an attraction park? Eiji's driving motivation in the King of Fighters series remains the same as ever, to defeat Ryo Sakazaki and prove the dominance of the Kisaragi style over Kyokugen-ryo karate. His path toward that goal took an unexpected turn when Billy Khan summoned him to join a team alongside none other than Iori Agami. Though Eiji was clearly surprised by the strange lineup, he agreed to the arrangement, seeing it as another opportunity to advance his agenda against the Sakazaki family. Thus, the Rivals team was born, with each member fueled by a personal grudge. Billy against the Bogart brothers, Eiji against Kyokugen-ryo, and Iori against Kyokusanagi. For the most part, Eiji and Billy found a workable dynamic, but neither of them could say the same about Iori. His ominous aura and unpredictable nature made them uneasy, and with good reason. By the end of the tournament, following the death of Rogal Bernstein, Iori suddenly turned on his own teammates. Without warning, he attacked both Eiji and Billy in a violent frenzy. This shocking betrayal marked the first glimpse of the riot of the blood taking hold of Iori, a terrifying power that surfaced briefly but with devastating consequences. The assault left his teammates badly wounded and fueled the grudge that both Eiji and Billy continue to hold against him to this very day. After his crushing defeat at the hands of Iori in '95, Eiji seemingly vanished from the fighting scene, disappearing for years without a trace. His absence was finally explained during the events of the 11th King of Fighters tournament. Eiji had spent a full decade in the mountains, undergoing harsh and extensive training under a new master. That master turned out to be none other than Ryuhaku Todo, the father of Kasumi Todo. Once his training was complete, Eiji crossed paths with Kasumi herself, who shared the same burning desire to bring down Ryo Sakazaki. Believing that Kasumi's victory over Ryo might even draw her estranged father back to her, Eiji offered to team up with her. Their alliance soon grew when they encountered Meilin, a cunning fighter with her own grudge against the Kyokugen-ryo school, more specifically Yuri. Using her skills in espionage, Meilin uncovered a critical piece of information. Takuma Sakazaki, the patriarch of Kyokugen-ryo, was hospitalized and unable to train his students for the upcoming tournament. Sensing their chance, the three formed the Anti-Kyokugen team, a coalition built on vengeance. Their shared goal was twofold: to strike Kyokugen-ryo at its weakest moment, and for Eiji personally to also exact revenge on Iori Agami for the brutal betrayal he suffered back in '95. The team's storyline culminated in a comical yet chaotic ending. They arranged to confront the Kyokugen-ryo practitioners during what was supposed to be a quiet date between Ryo and King. However, their plans backfired when King's wrath exploded after a series of meddling antics from Yuri, Takuma and Robert, dragging everyone into an unintended beating. This humorous misfire ended up being the last major appearance of Eiji as a playable character. Since then, he has only shown up in cameos, suggesting that Eiji still lurks in the shadows, quietly waiting for the right opportunity to strike, whether it's against Ryo Sakazaki or Iori Agami. Eiji practices the ancient art of Kisaragi-ryu ninjutsu, the same style once wielded by Zantetsu. This unique discipline combines unarmed combat with the use of knives, emphasizing palm strike, slashing motions, and the controlled flow of ki, all wrapped in a distinct shadow motif. Eiji's mastery of the style grants him a wide arsenal of techniques. He can teleport short distances in an instant, hurl energy projectiles, surround his hands with cutting energy, and even reflect enemy projectiles back at them. His ninjutsu also allows him to create shadowy clones of himself, confusing and overwhelming opponents. On rare occasions, Eiji can envelop his enemy in supernatural darkness and destroy them from within, a devastating ability once displayed by Zantetsu and later showcased by Eiji in KOF XI. Adding further intrigue, Eiji wields twin dirks named Nagari and Kage, the very same names carried by Zantetsu's blades. This has led many fans to speculate that they may in fact be the exact same weapons, lending further weight to the idea of Eiji being Zantetsu's descendant, though no official confirmation has ever been given. In his more recent appearances, beginning with KOF XI, Eiji has expanded his repertoire by adopting even more techniques from the Kisaragi Ryu, including the aforementioned super move directly inherited from Zantetsu. Recently, one of Eiji's hobbies is inventing new techniques and refining his style, which explains why his arsenal is so vast and versatile. All of this cements him not just as a skilled ninja, but as one of the most dynamic and unpredictable fighters in the entire King of Fighters series. Despite the timeline differences between Art of Fighting and King of Fighters, Eiji became the subject of an unusual misconception among Western players. In the US version of his Art of Fighting 2 ending, a script change implied that he harbored feelings for Mai Shiranui, something completely absent from the original Japanese version. This led many fans to believe he was secretly in love with her, which, if true, would have saddled him with Andy Bogart as yet another rival. And honestly, that would be a bit too much. Outside of the games, Eiji also bears a striking resemblance to the late Japanese pro wrestler Eiji Kisaragi, better known by his ring name Hayabusa. Both share the same first name, and their aesthetic similarities have often been noted by fans. In the end, Eiji Kisaragi remains one of the coolest and most stylish fighters in both Art of Fighting and King of Fighters. He embodies the ninja archetype better than anyone else in the roster, yet for reasons never made entirely clear, he had often been pushed aside and underutilized. What makes it even more frustrating is how he began as a serious and intimidating presence, only to be reduced to a comedic, almost goofy side character in his most recent appearances. Still, fans continue to hope that one day Eiji will step out of the shadows and claim the spotlight he deserves, even if staying in the shadows is what makes him a ninja in the first place. Special thanks to my patrons for their support. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and why not consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.